afternoon. I'm reaching you live from Lagos. And we're doing this broadcast today because you guys have heard about the latest judgment out of the Federal High Court in Abuja today regarding our party. As you all know, this attempt to hijack our party started immediately after the election. In fact, it started brewing as we became very popular. Don't forget, this party was registered last August as the African Action Congress. And it became the party to beat when it came to ideas and how to change Nigeria. We had some of the best manifestos, reached out to everybody. We were able to set up the party across the globe within the shortest period of time. But as we were doing that, some persons within the party were also being groomed to destroy the party internally, and when it didn't succeed, as soon as the election was over, and they saw that some of us were taking time off to replan our revolution now idea, they struck. So first they had a massive press conference supported by all the media houses in Nigeria. For the first time, the media houses in Nigeria that never covered us during the election came out and gave airtime. Somebody paid for it. We'll mention it as we go along to these individuals. They had a kangaroo meeting in Abuja and claimed that myself and Malcolm Fabiyi, who was the deputy national chairman, and myself was chairman, had been removed. When this happened, I was traveling. In fact, I heard about it as my plane was landing in the US on May 12, 2019. But as this was going on, 2 days later, Leonard and some other person, in fact, the next day, they went and filed a case secretly in Abuja, asking the court to declare him chairman because they knew what they did was wrong. And then on the 14th, they filed another case before Justice Hijack and asked to be given an injunction. Because they didn't want us to reply, the judge abridged our response time to 14 days. And when we knew that it would not be possible to just start heading back to Nigeria, I provided a copy of my passport, a page on my passport. My passport is here, showing that I had left Nigeria on May 12th and instructed the party's Deputy National Secretary, Dr. Joshua Adeoye, to depose on an affidavit on our behalf. And he did the same for Malcolm. Provided all the evidence, this is my passport as of 12 May 2019, how I traveled out of Nigeria. You can see it here, stamped out. So we provided all this evidence seriously and provided a very robust legal response. Our lawyer, of course, was Inibehe Effiong. You know him very well. And I'm sure when the judge saw our defense, he must have been scared. But what was interesting was that when we got back to court 14 days later, I think 7 days, we had filed our response. The judge was shocked that we could file a response. And because I had abridged our time of response and given Leonard and his crew an opportunity to do what they call substituted service. Substituted service, by way of what the judge interpreted it to me, was that it is possible that the defendants were not in town, so that they don't claim that they were not properly served. The judge allowed them to allow the substituted service, granted the substituted service order. So already the judge had anticipated, or they all had anticipated, that we may not be in town, and the only way they could serve us the proceedings of this matter was to grant substituted service. So before you knew it, in 3 newspapers, service was ordered on us. Even though we didn't see it, we heard about it, we went to court, applied for the certified true copies of the judgment. The judge denied us. He didn't give us immediately, claiming that we were not party to the case. By the time we got it, we had to get it through another lawyer. We filed our response. Within that 7 days, the judge would not grant us a copy of the CTC. He refused when Inibehe initially applied for it. So we filed our defense. If you see this defense, which we will upload at some point, you will be impressed with this young lawyer, Inibehe. He did a fantastic job. And when they had to file their counter motion, their counter motion ran counter to even their initial pleadings. And of course, we were excited about this, that these people will be defeated in court. But we didn't know that we're not dealing with, justice. We were dealing with people who are going through the back door. The passport I filed, these are my passport pages, before we could say Jack Robinson, had been filed at the Rivers State Tribunal. In another case involving Governor Nyesom Wike, and the AAC governorship candidate, Awara. And as you all guys know, I did not support Awara and the involvement of APC in Rivers State. So in some way also, Leonard and Awara were working together because I did not initially support them. But I don't know what happened along the line. I think the bidder became higher and Leonard moved over to Wike. So they filed every copy of my passport page that I filed with Justice Ekwo at the tribunal in Rivers, using it to counter Awara's position that he didn't need to change a lawyer. Because what Leonard did as soon as he got the injunction was to go to Rivers State to try and change Awara's lawyer. So the lawyer that Awara was using was one Tawo SAN. Leonard traveled to Rivers State, went to the tribunal and said the AAC was going to change Awara's lawyer. That was none of my business because I had no business dealing with Awara. I wasn't interested in their case, and I didn't even know when they filed on behalf of the party. So I took it that their lawyers probably filed, on behalf of the party in the state. Anyways, as Awara fought back, Leonard went underground again, got another judgment from an FCT High Court filed by the same lawyer. He claimed that one Honorable Bago has sued him, Leonard. This is like Leonard suing himself, asking to figure out how he became the acting chairman or whatever position he assigned himself for the AAC. And the judge quietly and secretly granted him a judgment. And they went back to Rivers State at the tribunal to file that judgment, claiming, because we then sent our lawyer in Ibe to write to the tribunal that there is no relief in Leonard's original summon, originating summon here that said he is the chairman of AAC. I'm telling you guys so that we can break down legal rigmarole that led to this. So eventually, Wike was able to use Leonard present in court in one of the tribunal sittings to forcefully change Awara's lawyer. And as soon as they changed Awara's lawyer, a few days later, the case against Wike filed by Awara also collapsed in Rivers State. So, fast forward, the judge at the Federal High Court, after we gave a fantastic submission, postponed the trial till July 12th, which was today, that he would give a judgment. He actually didn't go on vacation so that he would give this judgment, according to him. So today we went to court. He looks at our lawyer in the face, tells him outright that the case was uncontested. The case against Leonard was uncontested. That we did not file a response. Why? Because he claimed that it was not me and Mr. Dr. Makonfabi that deposed to the affidavit. That was strange. Every lawyer that was spoken to today said that is so weird, because the case that Leonard filed secretly at the FCT was deposed to by a clerk in the firm of the lawyer that filed it, one Ezoyane. By the way, the lawyer Leonard was using has been awarded SAN last week, the Senior Advocate of Nigeria. So he got a sanship. I don't know, maybe that is his reward for all these dirty jobs that they do. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to you today because I know most of you want to hear from us, especially, our supporters both in Nigeria and abroad. And I want to guarantee you that there's nothing to worry about. what we are facing now, I had predicted it for those of you who were following us when we were doing live stream on the couch in those days. I said it that if we succeed in any measure to disrupt the political process in Nigeria, they will come after us. They will come after the party. They will come after individuals who made the party very successful. They will blackmail us. They will blacklist us. And they will do everything to discourage any other party in Nigeria doing what we did in 2019. Because what we did in 2019 is unprecedented. No one, and I'm saying it, no one in Nigeria's recent history has done what we did within a year. And we even went ahead and did something they didn't like. We accounted for how we raised money transparently and how we spent the money transparently. Nobody has ever done that in Nigeria's recent history. Not even the major political parties, and there are 71 political parties in Nigeria. So we are right now at that spot that I have been talking about and warning some of you about. There's no reason to panic. This is just an invitation to be the fighter that we have always said we are. And this is an invitation to strengthen our new role in this society, Nigeria. I'm right now in Nigeria, just arrived in Nigeria, that there is a need for a revolution. And when you see me attaching everything I say these days, revolution now, it is in anticipation of the desecration of institutions of government, from the police to the army, navy, the judiciary, the legislative arm. You all know the story. And what you are seeing and what you continue to see more of is that these institutions cannot guarantee anybody justice, either social, judicial, economic, cultural, any form of justice, except we all rise up in unison. Particularly when the judiciary is corrupted, it is an invitation to anarchy. But we are not going to get involved in anarchy. We are preparing ourselves and our souls for a revolution to save the soul of this country. And I have said it before, I've been quoted about this severally, that if we take an additional soul, an additional life to set this country straight, I will be happy to give my life for it. And it means that all the judges who perpetrate injustice against our people, public officers, politicians, and their cronies, contractors, priests, imams, everybody that has been ganging up against all of us, 200 million of us, depending on who you talk to, we must rise up and fight until we have a country that we can call our own. And I can't say enough of this. Part of why some of us participated in the political process is to show to the world that we can do what nobody has ever done before. And if you look at how we campaign vigorously, how we pushed ideas, we ticked every box in the political rule book concerning how to campaign. So it is the reason this is important. I'm artist, and a lot of our colleagues are artists, but for those of you who might be worried, I'm just saying, you're welcome to the real world. I'm not new to this. For those of you who know my history in the last 30 years, it has always been like this. At every corner, they have always perpetrated injustice against me, against what they thought would be my progress. When I was in the university, I was expelled twice. We went to judges. One of the judges, I can't forget, it was one Justice Kensington in Lagos. He looked at us and said, "There's no way I can grant judgment against your vice chancellor in my courts. If you want to go back to school, let me take you to go and beg him on Friday at the mosque." A judge said that, Justice Kensington. He's now late. He used to be a judge who did what he liked in Lagos. And, you guys are also very aware of what happened to Sahara reporters in Ilorin, Kwara State, a few years ago, when the Senate President Bukola Saraki was, in his own view, very popular, and powerful. He seized all the money belonging to Sahara reporters using the same system of justice. Now they got a judge to sit and claim that I did. In that case, they didn't even serve us the proceedings of the case. They just quietly sat, declared in their judgment that we're owing Saraki 4 billion naira. That was the amount of the judgment. And they immediately proceeded to block all our accounts and started deducting money from the accounts after freezing the account. But I went to Lorry and I told everybody at that time that we will fight and regain our space and regain the glory of Sahara reporters, and we'll be operating in Nigeria. I also did promise then that we'll get our money back. We'll get an interest on a compound interest. And interest may not mean money. You know, sometimes it might mean that the person who perpetrated the injustice will go to jail. And I promise that Buhari and Saraki will make it to jail. And I hope it does. But the most important thing is that when we fought that battle so hard, you know, the media, mainstream media wasn't on our side. They hired social media warriors, trolls against us. You know, they targeted our funders, scared everybody. But I was certain that that injustice cannot stand. And today, as I'm speaking to you, Sahara reporters in Nigeria and the foundation whose account was frozen at that time had his money recovered, complete. Not a dime was missing. It was like a savings for us. And at the end, we're operational today. And Saraki, who used a Jankara judge at that time to perpetrate this injustice, is no longer relevant today. I've been told that the judge that he used at that time was actually given a house when they were rushing out of government. We're investigating that in Kwara State because we have a new government. It's not as if all these governments are different. I'm just giving you guys the background of the kind of monumental injustice carried out against citizens in this country when the judiciary is compromised and corrupted. And I am not in any way targeting the judge, you know, specifically because of this case. It is because everything in this case smells of corruption. You know, you guys remember even when the Supreme Court gave a judgment recently saying that somebody won in Osun State. Everybody came out and condemned them that you cannot discharge such a case on technicality, because that's not justice. That's what this judge was trying to do, you know, using technical jargons to perpetrate injustice against us. But our position is very clear. If a legal decision doesn't lead to justice, then it's still an unjust decision and it will not stand. So that's why I'm reaching out today, and just to tell everybody to be calm, but be firm, and continue to go about your normal duties as AAC members. We will flush these guys out. There's no question about it. It is our determination as a party. Nobody can impose an illegal chairman on our party. Nobody can even impose an illegal president on the country if the people of the country don't want the person, talk less of a party. As long as we reject this contraption of a judgment, we will reject whomever is the beneficiary of it, and before you know it, we'll all be shouting Uhuru. So I heard that there are questions on there for us, but let me thank all the people watching, and if you have any questions, please feel free to send them my way.
Yeah, let me start with Larry Oba asked, can we quit the party for these unfortunate people for now? George?
We can't quit our party. It's our party. We actually registered this party. If we quit the party for them and we go to another party, they will follow us there. We'll keep quitting party. We become quitters, and quitters don't win, and winners don't quit.
Why were the party leadership not at the courts? What do you ask?
We are not required to be in court. I just arrived in Nigeria today, but we're not required. But there was a representative of the party in the court who was there present yet.
Dominic asked, is it because of your meeting with Daniel Kanu that they are doing this now?
I wouldn't say. They've been doing it before I met Kanu, but who knows? Maybe it just strengthened them more, but it doesn't matter. It's beyond their control. Like I said, Nigerians have become very conscious these days, and it doesn't matter. All these things they are doing only help to consolidate the determination of Nigerians to set themselves free.
Dari Shola asks, shouldn't Falana be filing the appeal?
Falana is very supportive, but I've not been able to speak with him about this. We'll talk about how to file the appeal, but we've started the process already by applying for the certified true copy of the judgment.
Kola Olepita asks, how are we going to overcome the cabals and old gargoyles when people like Leonard still exist among the youths?
Revolution now. There will always be saboteurs. There's no struggle in the world that didn't have this kind of characters. But don't let us focus too much on them, because at the end of the day, they are just pawns in the hands of, we should go after their principals.
George asks, what's the way forward for now, Mr. President?
The way forward is for everyone who is a member of AAC to reject this court-imposed contraption on us and make it very clear wherever it may be. The state chairman. So we'll be talking to all of our operatives, or in country and around the world, to just make sure that they reject this. The judges are human beings as well. When they see the pushback, they will understand that they make a wrong move, and they will know that they've hit the wrong nerve. There are people or groups of people or fighters you just don't offend simply because you are compromised. And like I said, this is, in my view, a tonic for AAC members to radicalize more.
Joseph Emmanuel asks, is your name not part of the registration documents, Mr. President?
Of course, my name is the chairman. I'm the one who led the registration. I did most of the formation of the party with Malcolm, Fabi, Leke, Otunuga, and several others who made contributions from all over the world to help the party.
Kele Sar asks, Sowore, why can't we join alliance with the EFF in West Africa?
Yeah. Which one is alliance for the
EFF with the
Oh, in South Africa. Anyway, that's the political party that operates in South Africa. This is our own political party, and of course, we are reaching out, in terms of, continental and global efforts. A lot of very conscious parties have been reaching out to us. In fact, I've been in touch with the guy in Uganda as well, Bobby Wine, in the course of this, and some of these visitations will take us to EFF as well. Work on that.
Adeyemi Dairo asked, how can we truly start a revolution in Nigeria? Any template to follow?
We have to customize the one here, because if you go and bring templates to this place with the likes of these characters we're talking about, the revolution will not even start off. So let's keep, the most important thing is for everybody to agree that we've reached a point of no return, and that we must have a revolution, and that we're not afraid, because the greatest tool in the hands of our oppressors is to spread fear, and we shouldn't be afraid. We've gotten to the point where we should not be afraid anymore. Enough is enough.
This other guy asked, are we talking of taking this matter up to the Supreme Court, Mr. President?
Well, we've appealed the case, but I must also warn that this is a political case, and what will win this case for us is a total rejection of the contraption. If a judge says that somebody is the chairman of the party, and the party says it's not our chairman, the opinion of the judge is academic. It's just like you have a country, if a leader is imposed on a country by the court, and the public or the people or citizens say no, that's what they call a revolution. Maybe the first revolution will be within our own party.
Jude asked, how can AAC win in 2023 with too many political parties on the ground?
We are distinct. We were formed in August. By February, we have become one of the three most important political parties in Nigeria, in addition to, regrettably, a decadent APC and the PDP.
Remit Gones said, our president, welcome back home. Don't you think we need a national massive protest on this issue so that the world will join?
We don't rule it out. Let's be talking. Okay. How many people are watching?
507.
Okay, that's impressive. So I'm sure if you keep watching, you'll see more questions because people are watching. Can they hear me loud and clear? Yeah. All right. So that's the update here. If you have more questions, please feel free to ask. And those of you who are across the country, you know how to reach me. I have a WhatsApp number that's always online here. I think it's 0818 823 7529. 0818 823 7529. That's WhatsApp. You can reach us there. If you have, we urge our state chapters, local government chapters to totally reject this contraption. It's nothing. It's as simple as that. You know, like I said, if we don't accept it, then it's an academic exercise. We respect the right of the judiciary to pronounce on matters before it, but we also have fundamental human rights that cannot be circumscribed by compromises.
Ademo Adidaya asked, how is the party supporting the AAC aspirants in Kogi State?
Well, this is what we need to work on, because part of what this is being done for is to get them to present a candidate or support one of the decadent political parties. Let's be very clear. The fact that PDP is using them today doesn't mean these are mercenaries. You know, tomorrow they might become tools in the hands of the APC as well. You cannot be too sure that they are not working together, because if there's anything that will unite the APC and the PDP, it will be AAC, you know, because they are both afraid of us. So I won't be surprised if they are, in fact, we've seen signs already of the leaning towards the current regime. There was a press release on June 12th praising Buhari by the same elements for declaring June 12th a national holiday, whereas it was us who actually brought the idea into being. So when Sahara reporters exposed the central bank governor's 500 billion naira scam, these individuals went on national TV and was supporting the central bank governor and asking that the journalists that exposed the corruption should be arrested. That's what Leonard has been doing. So this is the kind of mercenary factor that you will get from individuals like this. Any more questions?
Ayogundemu, what impact is this chaos on the party? How will this decision impact the party's effectiveness?
It won't. It won't. I think one thing you must understand is that the party is not just a party, but it came from a movement. That is, Take It Back movement. Our movement is intact, and we will be operating as a movement, you know, while we wait to vacate all these unnecessary injunctions. And what people must know is that the moment you are active as a movement, even the judges will know that this is a different set of people. And I'm not in any way encouraging anyone to abuse anyone, but like I said, this is unjust, it's unfair, it's compromise, and we will not accept it. It will not stand.
Dare Shola, is Femi Falana helping with this case?
He's been helping us legally, yes.
My king, what is your talk about this new Cow Fulani passport?
Well, you know, I don't want to get into petty things. I must tell you, I have a passport here, and I don't want to get involved in anything that diminishes the standard of conversation that needs to happen. My passport here, a lot of them has pages. The last page here has people wearing caps, red caps. So they are not Fulanis. There's a page here that has what looks like a masquerade from Cross River State, right? So I'm not doing this. This is a page that has Eyo, the Lagos State masquerade. So I think passports are not the issue, or what they draw on the pages of news passports. When we have a revolution, we get to decide what goes on the passport pages. And then it's not some of these funny images that we have. It will be revolutionary images, but we should not take one page of a passport to have a conversation that is easy to defeat. You know, you make it easy for them to defeat conversations that should be serious. When you start talking about one page of passport and then they go and present, they're even presenting an American passport and they say there's a cow there. You know, they don't know why Americans put cow on there. This thing is because the cow industry doesn't kill, it feeds people. So, and like we said during our campaign, the meat industry is over $3 billion. If we had people in government who are thinking creatively, It could employ millions of people. And it's not only Fulani people that are that are entitled to do cow business. Anybody can do cow business. Botswana, there are no Fulanis in Botswana, and they export cow. So it's one of their biggest exports is cow meat and their products, dairy products. Same thing with Kenya. So,
Let me Bayo Shola. Can you give us an update on your meeting with Kanu, and are there other conversations to come?
Today is not the day to discuss that, but I think we issued a statement between me and Kanu, and you guys have probably watched an interview granted after that, where Kanu sat and I sat, and we discussed even areas of disagreements that we had. I just think going forward, we must start talking to a lot of interest groups, sometimes even people we disagree with. In this quest for a revolutionary future, we must start talking to them. And this is not the first time I'm talking to people who are fringe elements. When we were during the election in Kaduna, one of the people that I met with, who even sat on the table with us when we were doing the town hall meeting, was Yerima, Shetima Yerima, who is among people who are now giving ultimatum for Nigerians to leave the other parts of the north. So I talked to all kinds of people. If I had become the president of Nigeria, which was a mistake, by the way, that did not happen, I would have brought Kanu, brought everybody together to have a general conversation, deep conversation, intense conversation about the future of Nigeria and how it's the same thing I would have done. There are some negotiations that have to be done, and we'll talk more about this in the future, specifically.
Gideon Odion Attire. Mr. Sowore, did you sign in the party registration form as chairman, or what position are you in the INEC party registration form?
Oh, I'm chairman. I signed as chairman, yes.
Albert Wizzy, what are you saying about the implementation of Ruga in Nigeria?
We mentioned it during our election. We're opposed to anything other than commercial ranching. Ruga is their own very limited way of responding to a major problem that is driven by their provincial nature. Buhari doesn't think beyond his village. I don't even think he thinks as big as his village. And we've said it. So many of the things we said during the electioneering period, they are coming to pass. You can go and watch all our videos. It was like a prediction of what was coming to happen. I said in one of the videos that if Buhari wins, you will not be able to move around. You won't be able to practice your religion, for those who love religion very much. And it's already happening, and they will do more. They've just started. If there's anyone who watches BBC Yoruba service, there was something I described in the Yoruba BBC interview I had, that Buhari is person. In Yoruba, person means whip, and that everybody will get their own before he leaves. And we haven't even started yet, and people are crying. It was a fundamental mistake to have voted for Buhari. It would have even been worse if we voted for Atiku, those people articulating. We had a chance between the most incompetent, corrupt elders in the country and very sound, brilliant, agile, committed and focused youth. There was a chance, It was a pattern of the Red Sea. But when the Red Sea parted, people decided to stay back in Egypt, And now that they want to leave, the Red Sea is back in shape. I'm just using that, analogy to tell you what February 23 represented for us. And the same people who said we had no experience, we were too young, and called us all kinds of names are the ones now who are complaining bitterly about what happened in that election. But you have another chance, and that one don't have to wait till 2023. We can do a revolution now.
Timothy Bukunluatobi, it looks like the big parties have made themselves indomitable. Are you sure displacing them is possible?
It is. Whoever thought that we could do what we did in 2019 election? Everybody said it was impossible. People said it was even impossible to campaign in Lagos. We did 34 states, several cities, traveled around the world. It's possible. There's nothing There's nothing that is impossible when you have determination. And these parties are a facade. They are just transactional spaces that can be quickly set aside if people are serious. We just need to have the commitment. We just need to be clear about what we want. Young people, committed Nigerians. When I say young people, that's where the energy will come from. Because I've seen older people. In fact, a lot of old people actually hate the system as much as young people do.
The Vanguard paper reported that you didn't contest the suspension of your party chairmanship through legal means as part of the reason the judge aligned with them. What's your response to that, please, Abe Solomon?
That was what I said at the beginning of the week. We had a robust contest. I think the judge must have seen our defense, and when he knew he couldn't find a way around it, he decided to go this very cheap technical way as a way of fulfilling whatever arrangement they had. I will be glad to upload our defense on Facebook if possible, or on our website so that you can access it. It was a very robust defense. We defended ourselves so well that when they responded to our defense, they had no response. They now started counteracting their own initial claim. For example, they claimed that I was served a copy of the letter asking for a meeting. But in their own counter-defense, after we put in our defense, they claim that I don't know the way to the office of the party. So how can you be chairman and you say that my office has a stamp? They went and forged a stamp saying that I received. That's what Leonard did. And then when we pushed back against that fraudulent claim, he wrote in his counter-defense that as the chairman of the party, I don't know where the party secretariat is located. How can I collect letter when I don't know where the party secretariat is? So they are confused.
Adeyemi Dairo asked, Mr. Sowore, what's your take with the Shiite revolutionary movement? Can they be supported?
During the election, we supported the Shiites, and we still do. They have a right to organize until they get justice. What the Shiites are doing today, if every Nigerian or all Nigerians had the courage displayed by Shiites, we would have had a revolution by now. We just need 1 million people to do what the Shiites are doing. It will be over. This nonsense will be over, because if I imagine 2,000 Shiites invading the National Assembly, so if we can get 1 million people to do that, who will wait? Which army, which police will wait? Tell me. So we should we should learn from them, There's, I don't know which book said it. There was, I think it's an English author that wrote that, "Thou sluggard, go to the ants, learn their ways, and be wise." We should go to the Shiites, learn their ways, and be wise.
Prince Olufemi Johnson asks, what are we going to do now to save the party from those creeps trying to hijack it, sir?
We should be talking about what we can do to save Nigeria. And when we save Nigeria, the party will be saved too. If we save the party, there's no Nigeria, they'll come back and take the party again. Every party right now is under... Can't you see that about 60 parties are endorsing INEC every other week? So, and that is, even these guys joined the endorsement of INEC recently. They said that this election was the best election that Nigeria ever had. In the name of AAC, our party. That's an assault on our integrity and our sweat as a group. Guys, do not worry. What you need to do is what I've explained to you. There are bigger problems ahead of us. Nigeria needs a revolution. The party is just a small part of it that should not take too much of our time and energy. What should be taking our time and energy is how to save our country. And I'm serious about it. How we can make this revolution now become the sing song until the revolution itself happens. They did it in Sudan, and I'm not here inciting people. I'm inciting, everybody's incited already. In fact, the job of inciting people is done by the government, They are the ones inciting people with hunger, starvation, ruga, and all their policies. That's basic incitement, They are the ones pouring petrol. But Nigeria refused to burn. That's the problem. They are pouring petrol every day on this country. They are insulting our sensibilities. They are taking away our rights through the courts, through the police, SARS, everything, Fulani herdsmen all over the place. But to be clear, Fulani herdsmen is just a metaphor for what is wrong with the country. It's not as if Fulani herdsmen are the only people kidnapping. You know, the Yoruba kidnappers are still doing it. The Igbo kidnappers are still doing it. The Bibio kidnappers are still doing it. You know, but beyond even petty kidnappers, the major kidnappers in Abuja, the people who have kidnapped Nigeria and its resources are Buhari and all their cronies are around the world, and I mean in the country. So, and very soon, they are bringing a policy of removal of petroleum subsidy. They have said it, and they are not going to go back. So I don't know which match they will strike next, you know, that will catch the fire. But they've brought Nigeria to the ground. What is needed now is a revolution.
Anderson Nosa Samson, what can we do to key our elders into your ideology? Because so many of them are intelligent, but their level of reason don't tally with our generation.
This is deep, very deep. But we'll keep breaking it down to this next generation. I don't want to insult any generation. I think every generation, out of relative obscurity, must discover its mission, either to fulfill it or betray it. That's what Franz Fanon said. This generation will find its way too. But we have a duty not just to leave the generation at the mercy of what is destroying the generation, is to keep conscientizing, educating, and mobilizing them. The generation will fight for itself, but we need a push. Every generation needs leaders, you know, before they can find their way out of this darkness.
How can we start a revolution, sir, with this shaku generation? All they want to do is the dance.
Well, you know, we'll get to a point where they dance up to a point and there will be so many bodies on the ground and they have to also be body here. And that might be the revolution that will happen. It's when they had the revolution in Cuba, it happened the night that all the elites were having parties. And when they were told, they didn't believe it. When it happened in France, it's the same thing, you know. In fact, if there's any time that is the best for a revolution, is now when everybody is kind of complacent about it. It is the best time for it. And all the objective conditions for a revolution, they are here. You know, everything that causes the revolution that caused the revolution in every country that had revolution, they are present in Nigeria. In fact, in double doses, if not triple.
Can we have the couch back, sir?
Wow. Yes, we can. It's just that I'm moving around a lot these days and doing a lot of organizing and meetings. So it may not be as regular as it used to be, but I can see from the connections and conversation we're having today that people are yearning for the couch. How many people are on now?
476.
So that's the kind of number that's encouraging, especially when a lot of people are still at work and some people are going to bed in other parts of the world. So we have 8 more minutes. We'll end. And this was supposed to be an hour broadcast. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. Once again, we're here discussing what happened today in Abuja, where the Federal High Court gave a completely terrible, horrible judgment, claiming that we did not defend and contest our removal as leaders of the AAC. That's myself and Dr. Malcolm Fabi. First, we defended ourselves, provided some of the best robust defense possible. And I think when the judge looked over it and just couldn't comprehend how to deal with it without giving himself away, he decided to go the technical route and claim that this was uncontested. We contested it and took it seriously. Provided my passport about my trips so that the judge will know that I'm serious about it. But as you know, everything, now, as this fella says, army arrangement, mathematicians put them together, army arrangement.
Mr. President, why is it that 90% of the Yoruba people don't support your revolutionary agenda?
The revolution is not for Yoruba people alone, it's for everybody. So, that's why I'm not speaking Yoruba. It's not, the revolution is not for Yoruba people. And all the people that are supporting the revolution are human beings, and that's what we focus on. It's the revolution not only for Nigeria, it's the revolution for the continent of Africa.
Jerry, should we continue to donate to the party?
Right now, we say no, because although our our people have control over the accounts. If we donate in the account and they see money there, they will go after it, I'm sure.
What is your take on how Nigerians are rejected from entering the United States, K. Bosman?
You know, it's a sign that somehow, because we are not serious here, the world is also not taking us seriously. You know, people that are having opportunities to get easy visa access to countries that are doing well, because they don't see you as a burden. Look at Ghana, just got visa waiver from South Africa a few days ago. Ghana, you know, Ghana of 1983, that's you know, where there was mass poverty. So if you don't get it right at home, guys, very soon Togo will be demanding for visa for you to go to enter the place. Just let's get it right here. If we get it right here, people will be begging us with visa. They'll be sending visa to you at home, or they will ask you to take the visa upon arrival, or give you a visa. Go and look at the country. Go and look at countries that have free visa waiver to the US. Some of them are small countries, but there are countries that are doing well. Countries that, you know, countries that are respectable because they treat their people okay. Yes. So that's it. We have 4 more minutes. Any more questions? Well, in the absence of that, let me say hello to our regulars. You know yourselves, wherever you may be. Just send me, you know, hello and the time at your part of the world in Nigeria. If we're planning a number of things, and we will be contacting you guys on a regular basis, either here or through our official and unofficial machineries of communication outlets to you. But again, don't worry. This is just, you know, part of what we need to go through to be reminded of the need for this revolution now. So I would just say revolution now to every one of you. Don't forget, you know, things are happening so fast. If you don't guide your minds, you'll be surprised. It'll happen before you can say it. And the revolution might happen so fast it will not be televised.
Koku Graham, when is the next town hall? We must reignite this revolution again, Mr. President.
Yeah, we'll communicate to you the planning for such. We'll communicate to all of you. All right.
Mr. Sowore, when will you visit Abu Dhabi and Dubai, UAE? Most of us are waiting for your visit.
Yes, I'll do so. I've restarted the trip, so I went to Greece recently, and you probably saw me in Chicago. And I'm in Nigeria now, so we restarted the visit to do town hall meetings. The good news is that the massive popularity we enjoyed before the election has even gotten better and bigger. I can hardly go anywhere these days without people just stopping me, you know, telling me how much they appreciate what we did in 2019 and asking for us to give them direction and directives. So don't worry. What is important is the minds, and we are right there in the minds of our people, and our people are with us. They say, you know, we know our people, and our people know us. AC. Take it back. Take it back.
Action.
See, they're here. Thank you, guys. So we'll be taking a break now, and we will be back to inform you guys as soon as we have further information for you. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Please try and share this to others that may not have watched the live broadcast itself. Have a good evening from here, Lagos.